In its essence, the ideal city that Socrates describes in the Republic is an extremely prospering community, no crime, and guaranteed safety. Is this a community you'd like to live in? Utopia can be generally defined as an ideally perfect place, especially in its social, political, and moral aspects. The ideal city described in the Republic isn't the only version of a utopia that we're familiar with, but it is one of the oldest. In this video today, I want to discuss whether or not we're already living in Utopia, specifically the modernized city that Socrates described, or something more cynical. In order to build a utopia, we need a large enough community because no single person can do it all by themselves. Everyone must be great at their job, specialist, so we have to start training them early, otherwise we can't achieve perfection. The first class of people we'll call our producers. Our producers are specialized farmers, smiths, and craftsmen that take up the majority of the community. The producers share the work in a kind of way that we add cowherds and shepherds and stockmen of various kind to provide oxen for the plow and draw animals for the builder and the farmer, as well as hides and wool for the shoemakers and weavers. The second class of people we call our merchants. They specialize in the mutual exchange of goods outside of Utopia. The merchants will be in direct contact with the producers so that we export the right amount and kind of goods to exchange so they don't return empty-handed. The third class of people are our transporters. They are exclusively knowledgeable about transport over sea and land and the vehicles used to do the job to perfection. The fourth class of people are retailers. The retailers will buy goods from those who want to sell and sell goods to those who want to buy. Our retailers, who serve the public by buying and selling in the home market, as opposed to merchants who travel abroad. The fifth class of people will be our wage earners, or laborers. Their physical labor is much more beneficial than their intellectual. They market their strength and call the return they get for it their wages. Such a society will not be satisfied with the standard of living we have described. It will want couches and tables and other furniture, and a variety of delicacies, scents, perfumes, call girls, and confectionery. And we must no longer confine ourselves to the bare necessities of our earlier description, houses, clothing, and shoes, but must add the fine arts of painting and embroidery, and introduce materials like gold and ivory. So far, our utopia is perfect, but still the bare minimum to live. As humans, we desire some excess in life, but especially in our utopia, we must have these things to ensure our citizens are happy. We shall have to enlarge our state again. Our healthy state is no longer big enough. Its size must be enlarged to make room for a multitude of occupations, none of which is concerned with the necessaries. There will be hunters and fishermen, and there will be artists, sculptors, painters, and musicians. There will be poets with their following of reciters, actors, chorus trainers, and producers. There will be manufacturers of domestic equipment of all sorts, especially those with women's dress and makeup. And we shall need a lot more servants, tutors, wet nurses, nannies, cosmeticians, barbers, butchers, and cooks. If we are to have enough for pasture and plow, we shall have to cut a slice off our neighbor's territory. And if they too are no longer confining themselves to necessities and have embarked on the pursuit of unlimited material possessions, they will want a slice of ours too. It means a considerable addition to our state, the addition of an army, which will go out and defend the property and possessions we have just described against all comers. Our military will have the following characteristics: a philosophic disposition, gentle toward their fellow citizens, and dangerous only to their enemies, high spirits, speed, and strength. We must also guarantee happiness in the utopia. In order to do that, first, we must control the narrative that's being told. We have to banish stories that make Utopia look anything less than perfect. We must also banish novels, access to the outside world, or outside thinking that doesn't depict the Utopia as perfect. Second, we must control the chaos in Utopia. We have to use psychological warfare to make our citizens love our country and hate our enemies. We must also encourage our citizens to ostracize, exile, or even murder anybody who's non-conforming or unpatriotic or even attempting treason. And lastly, we must control the people in Utopia. We don't want to be like savages, so we want our military presence to be felt so that nobody, internally or externally, tries to infringe on our Utopia. The telescreen received and transmitted simultaneously. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a very low whisper would be picked up by it. Moreover, so as long as he remained within the field of vision which the metal plaque commanded, he could be seen as well as heard. There was of course no way of knowing whether you were being watched at any given moment. How often or on what system the thought police plugged in on any individual wire was guesswork. It was even conceivable that they watched everybody all the time. But at any rate, they could plug in your wire whenever they wanted to. You had to live, did live, from the habit that became instinct and the assumption that every sound you made was overheard and, except in darkness, every movement scrutinized. Do we already live in this utopia and not know it? This is an idea that we will explore in a later video when Socrates discusses his noble lie in Book 6 of the Republic. But in its essence, this is the ideal city that Socrates describes in the Republic. No crime goes unpunished, the community is prosperous, the citizens are guaranteed safety. Is this a community you'd want to live in? Is this really Utopia? Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome to the end of the video. If you guys did make it to the end, I just want you guys to comment down below Utopia for me, just so I know that you actually watched to the end, because I really do appreciate everybody watching through the entire video and engaging like you are about to, hopefully, cross my fingers. But anyways, I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. I've really been enjoying making them, and I've been seeing our community grow quite a bit since the last couple of videos, to be honest. So I'm very excited to keep bringing more content to you guys, and I hope to see you guys on the next video next week. Peace out.